Well, don't you think we should maybe ask for more than $1 million? $1 million isn't exactly a lot of money these days.
Turning to Mara Schmear's letter number 4.
As I was such an idol, I was guilty of murmuring and complaining because I can never be satisfied.
Mara's daughter, Leantha, a.k.a. Rebecca, states over and over in her $20 million lie exposed essay, notarized, that her mother, after moving from French Gulch's hippie house to Sacramento, California, quote, had everything in that home in North Sacramento, yet she complained, quote. Later, the Schmear family moved to the central area where the generals lived, and her mother complained that she did not have a dryer to dry Stephen's diapers, and so Lila Green gave her her own so that she would have no complaint.
The leech has 2 daughters, give and give. 3 things are never satisfied. 4 never said enough. Sheol, the barren womb, the land never satisfied with water, and the fire that never says
Mother
enough.
always had many complaints, and everyone worked overtime to try and help her out of her dependent, willful, sniveling mindset. She continually complained about not being able to be a working woman like Lila Green. My mother Maud continued to complain about everything. Still, everyone tried their best to satisfy her demands. My mother was a poor worker and was constantly complaining and griping. Often she was like the cripple carried around by everyone else while she continued to complain and gripe. We always had plenty of everything, comparatively speaking. We had plenty of money, food, shelter, yet my mother was always complaining and whining about everything. She continued to complain at me that I was wasting my time doing my homework. She constantly complained to me about her husband and how mean he was because she was so lazy that she would not clean the house, and he would ask her to please keep the house somewhat clean. She kept whining and griping till she got the job at the art shop. Then she started complaining that she didn't want to work. Because of her complaining and griping, the ministry established an excellent daycare program whereby mothers exchanged daycare hours. She griped about this. As usual, she found herself dissatisfied and complaining to General Lila, to my stepfather, to me, to anyone who would listen. She complained throughout the trip to Africa and behaved many times as a child. After my mother returned from Africa, she continued to complain about everything. She was always murmuring about the job, hating it every day, and making everyone else miserable. She would gripe about what she had for her lunch, and complained about getting fat. She was obsessed with fear of weight gain, and complained about any food we had served us. She wanted to quit her job, which she was allowed to do until she complained about being bored and was given another position.
I had to get a job. You don't want to work. What are you doing? I got a job in a bakery. Good. What are you doing there? Loafing. That's... Oh, boy. What are you doing? Loafing. Where? In the bakery.
You working?
Certainly.
Doing what?
Loafing.
Well, that's what I was doing here. I was just taking it easy. I was loafing.
No, that kind of loafing. You're just a lazy idiot. Not this here kind here.
I was taking it easy, same as you.
I work when I loaf.
How can you work and loaf at the same time?
Why not?
Can you do that?
That's what they pay me for.
They pay you for what?
To loaf.
How would they pay you for loafing? You're in a bakery store, you gotta do
I'm
something.
in a baker, so I'm loafing there.
You just go to work in a bakery store and you don't do a thing. And
Oh,
they pay
yeah,
you for it?
sure, yes.
How much they pay in a bakery store for loafing?
$1.50 an hour.
For loafing?
The union man. I belong to the union.
I'm loafing here and getting nothing for it.
Well, you're not supposed to get any money for that kind of loafing.
Well, can I loaf there with you?
I should say not. You've got to join the union.
I gotta join a union of loafers?
You can't loaf without belonging to the union.
Well, what do you think of that? Well, you mean I gotta join a union in order to loaf?
Well, certainly.
Don't say nothing, but I was loafing here without the union.
No, you aren't loafing here. You can't loaf here. You can't loaf here. You got no dough.
I got no dough. That's why I'm loafing, because I got no dough.
No. If you had dough, you could loaf. But then you'd have to get a card to join the union.
You gotta have dough to loaf.
Oh, sure. How can you loaf without dough?
That's very hard. I've been trying. You can't do it. I mean,
You can't do anything.
I can't retire right now. I gotta have a job.
Someday come down to the bakery. I'll show you how to loaf. I do real loafing. In fact, you know, I never told you this. My whole family were loafers.
No kidding.
Sure. My father was a bigger loaf than me.
He was?
Yeah, he was one of the best loafers in the family.
I think you're a better loafer than your father.
Oh, I know that now, because he taught me how to loaf.
You know you're a bigger loafer than your father.
Oh, sure.
You're a bigger loafer than me, too, ain't you?
Well, you're no loafer.
I'm not.
No, certainly not.
You are.
You're just a lazy, no good for nothing, whatever you
How
call
can
it.
I be lazy? You just told me I'm no loafer. You're a loafer, not me.
But I get paid for loafing, you don't.
That's what I don't understand. Working in a bakery store, I'm getting paid $1.50 an hour for loafing.
That's right.
This, I don't understand that.
You don't understand? What is there to understand?
I don't understand you working and loafing and getting paid for it.
Wait a
Can
minute.
I get a job there? Doing the same? No, I can't get a job there.
Got to belong to the union.
All you do is talk, and that's all I hear. You don't say nothing, loafing.
I don't say anything.
No.
Look, you go to the union. You get a card. You go to the bakery. They give you dough. You need the dough first.
I need the dough, and how I need the dough? We need dough to get something nice.
I need the dough in order to loaf.
I need the dough in order to loaf. Give me some dough, and I'll get something to eat in the joint.
Can't get any dough. You
Poor
can't.
Bingo, I don't know what I'm going to do to him. He's going to look for other parents.
Bingo.
Believe me.
Wait a minute.
I want to ask you just one thing.
What?
What makes a balloon go up?
Hot air.
What's holding you down?
Complain. Never satisfied. There you have the words of her own daughter, which match Mara's indictment against herself in letter number 4.
1 day of confinement is as a week. This is my punishment.
This punishment was her own doings, not ours. And what about confinement? Note the following in the very thing.
Yesterday, Sergeant Irene and Brenda were in the kitchen of Barracks 3 when I was doing the dishes.
Doing the dishes, not locked up in a shed, but doing dishes in a community kitchen around other people? Your testimony under oath, Mara, is just as confusing, implying contradictory things in different places. You said, we held you captive for 10 or 24 weeks, implying that you were locked up the whole time.
I have been unwanted leaven in the body. Thusly God had to remove.
I thought it was the mean old generals that locked you up.
I have such a yearning inside to burst out of this prison house and run for God.
The prison house was, of course, her own mind. Sin is a prison house for anyone, anywhere.
I have been literally tangled over hell, and I feel such a fire burning me up.
Mara, after she left our camp, stopped believing in hell, except her believing will go there. Remember again, Mara admits in her letters that God is the one who was dealing with her. It was He who literally dangled her over hell and brought her so near to facing hell. It was not the old mean generals.
But I will warn you whom to fear. Fear him who after he has killed has authority to cast into hell. Yes, I tell you, fear him.
Of course, now, Mara and Rebecca don't believe in God at all, according to their grown son Stephen, who's a witness to their reprobation and departation totally from Christianity and Jesus. Mara's a Buddhist, and Rebecca, who knows? All I know is that she has had multiple sexual partners and remains kind of hidden, out of sight, waiting for Mara to kick the bucket so she can get all the exploited funds from this next lawsuit that she joined her mother in.
Thanks for having me, church lady.
Oh. Well, I'm glad you know my name. Well, where's your lovely wife, Rhea Perlman, tonight?
Well, Rhea's out in California with the kids, Lucy and Gracie, and she's shooting the TV series Cheers.
Oh, I see. So our wife has to take care of the children while we just throw them off to anywhere we please. Apparently, some of us are married when it's convenient.
Well, actually, church lady, I'm here to plug my new movie, Tin Men, which opens on March 6th.
So it's the Tin Men.
No, not the Tin Men, just Tin Men.
Just Tin Men, not the Tin Men.
No, Tin Men.
All right. Try not to correct me on my show, Daniel. All righty, so tell us what this Tin Man is all about.
Well, among other things, it's about two rival aluminum siding salesmen, and one guy has an affair with the other guy's wife to get even. You know.
Oh, so it's a movie about adultery.
No, it's not about, it's a comedy. It's not about adultery.
And what's our rating, Daniel? Could it be R?
Yes, it is an R rating.
Yes,
yeah.
I thought it was. And apparently some of us have to use the F word to be funny.
Well, come on now, church lady, what's your problem? I mean, you're all in a tizzy here. You look like you haven't had your ticket punched since Ike carried his own golf club.
Well, isn't that special? Well, it looks like we're feeling just a little bit superior. Well, we're very happy with ourselves, aren't we, Daniel?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Only we forgot one little thing. You have to be superior to do a superior dance. You know what we did? A little inferior dance. And who encouraged us to leap up and do our little strut, Daniel? Who could it be? Oh, I don't know. I guess I'll just have to take a stab in the dark. Satan! My next guest, famous advice columnist, Ann Landers. Move over, Daniel. Well, welcome, Ann.
Well, I'm glad to be back. I've gotten scads of letters on my last appearance and on this whole safe sex issue.
Well, I think the answer is very simple. Celibacy, or SEX, in a monogamous Christian marriage.
Well, it really isn't that simple, church lady. Let me share a letter with you, if I will. Dear Ann Landers, lately my teenage daughter has been staying out late every night. She says she's going on hay rides. I think she's having sex.
Called me up into their house and had told me that God said I was to get married. And I agreed to do it because God said. I always told myself that it was okay because I would be going to heaven as the reward for all the suffering on earth.
Judge Judy.
Oh, please. That's baloney. You look ridiculous. Got it? Liar, liar, pants on fire. Don't be a liar. I eat them up for breakfast.
I want to protect her from all these scary diseases, but my religion says contraception is a sin. Signed, bail me out. Well, dear Bail, if you buy that hayride business, you're a few dots short on your dice. Set your morals aside here. This is a health issue. Now, Lord knows I don't condone premarital sex, but in these times of strange germs and viruses, isn't it silly to have plastic covers for your furniture and not for your children?
That's so much BS, Becca. Shame on you. You were just a horny teenager, under 18, having some fun in the back of your boyfriend's pickup or vehicle there, and you got caught, and you were reprimanded by your spiritual mom and dad, Jim and Lila Green, to knock it off, or you're going to have to leave or get married. So you decided not to leave and instead get married to, what is his name, Mike, who is also promiscuous. And do you want me to go into all that too?
Apparently, Annie, we're encouraging our children to fornicate. What's next, Ann? Would you like to see mothers passing out prophylactics? Now, Timmy, I packed your lunch. Don't forget your condom.